Start.
Rotate your phone. You can't turn on your phone while recording. Hi, I don't know if we're on. We are live.
We are live?
We are live. Okay.
We're still alive.
We
yes,
are.
we are. Okay, let's both get in the picture
Okay.
here. Okay. Well, welcome to Granny Raps on the News. Most of you are used to seeing us at Granny's place. And this is where Granny Walks, also known as Beth Green, plays the piano and makes us laugh and answers our questions in profound and unexpected ways. But Beth also has a long history as a social commentator. And some of us have asked her to comment on current events as well. So tonight we're going to be doing a brief live stream before the show called Granny Raps on the News. Tonight, she'll be talking about Kavanaugh, Tiger, and us. So, Granny, please fill us in, will you?
Yes, well, I'm going to try to turn this on the side, and I hope that I didn't make you guys sick, because now I can see your comments, and I don't know, I'm kind of new at this. So, anyway, glad to see you. So, yes, I want to talk about Kavanaugh, Tiger, and us. What's going on with the Supreme Court nomination? Everybody knows about this now. I don't have to explain it again. Oh, now there's 4 women and there's 5 women. And anyway, of course, what we need to do for everybody's sake is to, and hi, Ann, hi, Lizzie, hi, Erica, hi, Stacy, is we need to get a real investigation to find out if this guy did anything, right? And if he did, then he needs to be held accountable. And if he didn't, then he needs to be, let off the hook. Not off the loose. Anyway, but what the point is, not that I want to talk about whether he's guilty or innocent today, but if he did any of the things, or most of the things, or many of the things that he's being accused of, then why can't he just come forward and say, yes, I did that? Now, the reason that I mentioned Tiger is that Tiger Woods was called on the carpet for his sex addiction in 2010. And he's...
2009.
Well, okay, 2009. Well, maybe in 2010 he said, yes, I did it, and he went back into rehab.
That is
okay?
true, yeah.
So, he said, yes, I am a sex addict, and he went into rehab. So... Now, Tiger Woods just won a championship, which was amazing that he came back with the back and all the stuff that he's gone through, and everybody was cheering for him. But, to me, you're cheering for him not only because he was able to overcome incredible physical disabilities and shame and public humiliation, but because he was able to face what he did. Now, I don't know, again, if Brett Kavanaugh did any of these things, but it's possible that he did. And if he did, why can't he say so? Why did he have to lie to start with? Which, of course, would invalidate him as the Supreme Court nominee. I mean, if he's lying under oath, for God's sakes, we can't make him, a Supreme Court justice. But then I want to look at us, and I want to make the comparison. Is that how many of us really take accountability for what we do, and why not? Isn't that really an important question for all of us to be looking at? So one of the things that we know about, oh, hi, REA. Did I say hi, Stacy?
Yes, you did.
That, we live in a shame-based universe. We're all, shaming, blaming, and all of that with each other. And it becomes very frightening. So let's say you were a kid and, hi, Karen, and you were a kid and you did something wrong and your father comes out and he says, who did this? And you say, he did. Harry did it, right? My younger brother or whoever, right? So why are you doing that? Because you're afraid of your father. You're afraid you're going to lose love. You're afraid you're going to get beaten. There's all kinds of reasons that you're afraid of telling the truth. And this kind of fear of accountability, you see it at work, don't you? Somebody is, makes a mistake at work and they want to blame somebody else, their supervisor or their coworker or just anybody but them. So we are afraid of the, hi, Helen, we're afraid of admitting when we make mistakes because we're afraid of being shamed, we're afraid of being punished, And that is exactly what happened. Somebody is saying Granny Rocks says hi. It can't be Granny Rocks because this is me. So somebody is masquerading as Granny Rocks. Could you please put yourself on? Anyway, so what are we going to do about it? It's one thing to say this is a terrible thing if Judge Kavanaugh did all these things. It's another thing to say it's a terrible thing if he lied about it. But I think the most important thing that we should be looking at is why do we? Thank you. Helen said it's changed. I appreciate that. So Granny Rocks is only in one place at the same time, although I'd like to be able to, be in two places. And also, can you give me a sense of the time? So this is what I'd like each one of us to take a moment and look at something about us that we feel ashamed of, that we don't want to admit. And then ask ourselves, why are we afraid to admit this about ourselves? Okay, so can we have a moment to ask ourselves this question? Anybody willing to cop to something?
Yeah, fear that our needs won't be met, that we'll be
Yeah, but what is it that you haven't copped to anything yet?
Oh.
What is it that you're ashamed of that you don't want to admit? Or either because you're afraid, and of course, this is in a politically toxic environment. It's not exactly the most forgiving environment. It's not forgiving in our political system, and very often it's not even forgiving in our homes. A lot of us have been afraid of our parents. Is anybody willing to throw something out there in the chat about something that maybe, or want to say to me about something that they may be doing that they feel embarrassed about or ashamed of or afraid of being punished about? Resounding silence. That is my point. I bet you that each one of us could find, oh, here we go, Helen. Helen says, I am so bossy and judgmental. Elizabeth said that I'm rusty on some of my skills. I love it. Two things that are out in the open. And when we make these admissions, are we also simultaneously afraid of being judged? Oh, Erica says, I'm ashamed of my vindictiveness. Right on, Erica. Are we afraid that there is going to be repercussions? Yes, we are. Somebody is going to think badly of us. Oh, Ann said, I've been teaching for 15 years and most days I still feel like I have no idea what I'm doing. Stacy says, I don't go to regular doctors because I don't want to know about the damage I am doing to my body. Oh, that's fantastic. I can't see the rest of it. This is an iPad, it always cuts off the rest. Helen says, of course I'm afraid of being judged. Oh my God. I love the fact that you guys have come out with this. Look, instead of just staying stuck on the Kavanaugh thing, let's say, of course there needs to be an investigation, if only to clear his name. Karen said, not productive enough, and on Facebook too much, but not on Granny Rocks too much, of course, obviously. So let's take this as a moment to see the ugly face of denial. If, in fact, he is guilty, not only is he suffocating himself on the inside by denying it, but also he's shaming people who are coming forward and telling him what he's doing. So he's destroying their lives in the process. I don't need to say more about that. Let's find out what the truth is so we can support the man. If the man has a sex addiction, he needs help. If he's an alcoholic, he needs help. But let's mostly look at ourselves and ask ourselves, are we willing to stand up and take accountability for what we've done? Are we willing to pay for what we've done? Like Bill Cosby, finally, right? And more than that, are we willing to fight for a society where people aren't afraid of being judged and blamed, where we're allowed to be human, where people will be held accountable, but not pilloried for being honest about ourselves? That's what I'm asking us to do and to think about at this week's Granny Raps on the News. Yes, thank you. And stay for Granny's Place, 6:30 Pacific time, our regular show, and Granny's Kitchen at 7:15. Bye-bye.